Hi Matrix. Today we're going to have a look at the Gauteng Prelim for 2020. Please have a go at the exam before you actually watch these videos. If you need access to the paper and the data, you can find that in the description below. Question 3. Spreadsheet. These notes at the top are really important. You need to use formulas and/or functions for all calculations in the spreadsheet. And please only use absolute cell references where they are necessary to ensure that the formula are correct when you copy them down to other cells in the same column. Now these two notes I'm going to explain to you when they are necessary in the data, so hold on to your horses, we'll discuss them when we get there. Families need to save money for travel, accommodation and food to be able to attend the Olympic Games. Open the 3-budget spreadsheet and work in the Sheet 1 worksheet. 3.1. Rename the Sheet 1 worksheet to Family and change the tab color to any color of your choice. Right-click, tab color, change the color. If we right-click or if we just click to another sheet and we click back, you'll see the color has changed clearly. 3.2. Make the following changes to cells D7 to G8. Merge and center these cells. Shade these cells with one shade darker than cells D8 to G8. So we select them, merge and center, and then we need to click on D8 to G8, doesn't really matter, and we need to check what the shading currently is. Alright, so we can see that's the current shading, so we need to select this one and make it one shade darker, which will be that one. 3.3. Insert a function in cell B3 to indicate the number of family members, column B, that appear most often. So if we look at column B, these are the number of family members, and we need to determine what's the number of family members that appear most often. Now the function we need for that is mode. Mode is not the same as average and mode is not the same as median. Please know what each function does. 3.4. The Rand-dollar exchange rate is 18 Rand 50 South African Rand for each dollar. The amount in column G is the amount saved by each family and is displayed in dollars. Insert a formula in cell B4 to determine the total value of the money saved in South African Rand. Display the amount in cell B4 in South African currency. Okay, while you read a question as long as this, it's extremely important to take note of the data while you're actually looking at the paper and keeping your finger or a ruler or something with you to check what you're actually reading. So we need to take into account this entire column's amount, and we need to work out what this entire column's amount would be in South African Rand. If we look at this again, the Rand-dollar exchange rate is 18 Rand 50. The amount in column G is the amount saved by each family and is displayed in dollars. Insert a formula in cell B4 to determine the total value of money saved in South African Rand. Okay. So the total value of money we can work out by doing a sum. Correct? Okay. That's the total value of money. And to work this out in South African Rand, we need to multiply that by 18 Rand 50. Okay. And then we need to display it in South African Rand. Now, South African Rand is not the same as this number. This one is an accounting format. You'll see the Rand is on the far left, and it's not the same as the South African currency, which has the Rand symbol right up against the number. Okay, so please do this accurately. 3.5. insert a function in cell B5 to display how many families prefer the luxury type, column C. Alright, now before we do that one, please take note of this instruction. Insert formula and/or functions in such a manner that the correct results will still be obtained even if changes are made to the existing data. Voeg formules en of funksies op so 'n manier in dat die korrekte resultate steeds verkry sal word, selfs al verander die bestaande data. So please take note of that. Remember that when we do this one. Insert a function in cell B5 to display how many families prefer the luxury type. So, luxury type, this is where we can see that. So, Countif, we need to see how many families, range. Do you see my tooltip here? It shows me what to do. First, I need to insert the range, then I need to insert a comma, and then I need to insert the criteria. Now, some of you are lazy, and then you click on the criteria, luxury. Now, that is where I actually broke that rule, because that rule says I need to insert the function in such a way that the formula will actually still work even if the data changes. Now, let's see if the formula still works if the data changes. My answer is 6. Let's say the data changes, and this person suddenly says they don't prefer luxury anymore. Their budget has changed, and now they can only afford a backpackers. See, the answer has changed. So, in other words, you can't insert functions in this manner. Okay? You cannot do this. You have to actually type in luxury. If you are this lazy and you don't want to actually type in luxury, then if you really want to, you can copy the name luxury or the cell luxury, paste it into building blocks, and then you can refer to that cell. If you really want to do that, then you can do that. That you may do. Okay? But the better way, the safer way to do this is just to type in luxury. Okay? In your parentheses. Okay? Or your double quotation mark. Sorry, I'm not English. There you go. That's the right way to do this. But if you're really lazy, then you can go and put it in building blocks. But you cannot refer to the criteria in your data range, because this could change. And the rules say you have to insert it in a way that if the data changes, your function will still work. 3.6. Insert a function in cell D15 to display the amount that the Mokoena family will pay for travel. Use the data in the costs worksheet. Ensure that the function will work correctly if copied down to the other cells. That doesn't mean you have to copy it down. It just should work if you copy it down. Right. Now, the moment they tell you to work with something in another worksheet, you first have to come and look at this worksheet. So in the costs worksheet, we have a table. Now, as soon as we have a table, you need to know, alarm bells need to go off in your head. This has got to be either a VLOOKUP or an HLOOKUP. Now, this one could be either of those. We need to look at what we have to look up. So, we're in the D15. They said we need to look up a function. We need to look up the amount that the Mokoena family will pay for travel, specifically for travel. Okay. So, we're just looking up the travel amount. Okay. Now, let's just look this up manually first, and then we can figure out which function to use. So, for travel, okay, travel, there are 3 types: backpackers, mid-range, and luxury. So, which one are they? They are backpackers. Okay, so backpackers pay 15. Okay, so I looked it up horizontally because my 3 options are horizontal. Do you see that? Because my 3 categories are horizontal, this means it'll be a HLOOKUP. So now I go and insert an HLOOKUP. My lookup value, what did I actually use to go and choose what amount they're going to pay? It was backpackers. You see, I'm following this tooltip over here. comma. Where did I go and look this up? The table that I used to go and look this up was in the costs worksheet. I'm just going to select the entire table. That's always the safest. Comma. What row index contained my answer? My answer was in the 4th row because I'm looking up travel. Okay. Now the range lookup you'll see is actually in square brackets. That means it's an optional argument. If you don't know what answer or what to type in that 4th argument, rather don't put it in. Okay. In this instance, it would be false because I'm looking up absolute values because it's text values. It's either backpackers, mid-range, or luxury. I'm not looking up in intervals. So I could put in false. But if you don't know, just don't put it in. You're rather going to get yourself into trouble if you put in the wrong one. So rather just don't put it in. Okay. Now there's something I forgot. This is not going to work if I copy it down because the range of the table is also going to copy down. And this table isn't actually never ending. Okay? This table is also going to copy down. So I need to fix my table and ensure that it doesn't copy down with my absolute cell referencing, which I can do by triggering F4. Okay. Enter. And there you go. I'm done with my Hlookup. 3.7. Use the concatenate function and insert a formula in cell H10 to create a code for the Johnson family, similar to the codes of the other families. Hint, a random number was generated. Okay, so this time they actually told us we have to use the concatenate function. So you're not actually allowed to use the AND operator. You have to use the concatenate function because they told us we have to use it. So concatenate, you'll see 2019 in Office 365 suggests concat. You can use that, but they actually told us to use concatenate. So just use what they told us to use. All right. So from the other families, it looks like they used the first 3 letters of the type, eh? So I'm going to use the type. The first 3 letters I can get from using left, and this was the text they used. And how many characters? 3 characters. All right, so the first text in concatenate is finished, comma. The second piece of text I need to insert in concatenate seems to be the surname. All right, comma. The third piece of text I need to insert is now the random number that has been generated. This is not the number. Do you see? The first one is 4, but I'm just going to close this off for a second. This one, 7, they are not a family of 7. They are not a family of 0. So that is clearly not the number they used. So now we need to determine what random number did they use. Okay, so we've got a 0. Let's see what the highest number is. Looks like 9 is the highest number. So it was a random number between 0 and 9. So the third piece of text that we are adding onto this concatenate is now a random number. Now rand, let's see what the tooltip says here. Returns a random number greater than or equal to 0 and less than 1. That's not going to work. We need a whole number. So there you go. Randbetween returns a random number between the numbers you specify. That works better. Randbetween, bottom number is 0 and highest number is 9, sorry. And we're going to put a bracket in for randbetween, and we have our final bracket for concatenate. Alright, so that's how you would have done the whole thing in one. If you wanted to do building blocks, you would have done left of that and 3 digits. The surname we don't need to add in, and the random numbers 1, 0 and 9. Please note these 2 are included. You don't have to put in other numbers. And then to add them all together, we just say concatenate mid and Johnson and the random number. That's how you use building blocks. That's what they mean by this instruction at the top, where they say use the allocated space in the spreadsheet should you need to use building blocks.